Alrighty, thank you all for being here. Today, shortly after noon, we received an anonymous tip at our stop tip line that there was a bomb placed at 4 of our high schools. Those high schools are Frederick Douglass, Henry Clay Lafayette, and Paul Laurence Dunbar. The threat also included a demand for a ransom of $500,000 to be sent to a Bitcoin account. And considering the urgent nature of that threat, as well as the deadline given, which was 12:30 p.m., I made the decision to evacuate campuses immediately so that our law enforcement could assess the threat and do an investigation into the viability of it, and to determine if to make sure that our students were safe and out of harm's way. So all campuses at that time evacuated to their football stadiums, and our teachers, staff, principals, and law enforcement did a phenomenal job with the evacuation and making sure that our students were in a safe environment and out of harm's way while we continue to assess the threat. At this time, I will let Chief Schaefer speak a little bit more about law enforcement's role in this particular threat today. Thank you.
I'd like to start by saying what a wonderful job our school administrators, school staff, students, and school police did this afternoon. On short notice, they moved swiftly, effectively, ensuring the safety of those inside our buildings. Their communication back to us and their actions were just as trained. We have specific training guidelines, specific training drills that we do, and they acted upon those drills, but also thinking on their feet, to make sure that everyone was safe. And that's where we got to that point, as Dr. Liggins mentioned. The investigation is ongoing. We've had an outcry of help from community partners such as Lexington Police, the Sheriff's Office, federal partners, ATF, FBI, Kentucky Department of Homeland Security, all reached out within minutes, and they have dedicated personnel from their agencies to see this investigation through. So this will be a joint effort between our school police, local police, Lexington Police, and Lexington Police intelligence units, and our federal partners in this process. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Dr. Liggins if you have any questions. At this point, it's really, really early in that investigation. Our efforts to this point was the safety of those on our campuses. And like I said, that went very smoothly. Now we're really turning our time, attention, and efforts to the investigation. So at this point, I'm not prepared to speak on that, but I can say that there's a lot of resources devoted to solving this. There's no one that has reached that stage, or there's no, the investigation has not reached that point yet. No, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm not going to speak to specifics about that. We are speaking to a lot of people, but mainly in just an effort to get the full story before we can focus our efforts into any one person or persons.
Could you get into a little more detail about some of the guidelines that you followed in this case when it came to going back into schools and getting students out?
Yeah, so we do, like I said, practice a lot of drills, and we're not going to talk specifically about all the things that we do. But at the same time, these are things that we train for, and as a department, train for and look forward to or anticipate before the school year starts, and then work with our school administrators and school staff that we have that good connection and communication, that when something needs to occur quickly and efficiently, that we can take that action appropriately. And today was one of those days that we did that.
And did you feel like at the time that you had enough resources to handle going through the 4 different schools?
So yes, we internally, of course, we have a school police department that I have to give credit to my officers and sergeants, lieutenants that were involved today, did a great job. But I can't tell you how thankful I am to Lexington Police, the Sheriff's Office, who, with less than a minute, were calling me on my phone and through our dispatch, and beyond that, just showing up to offer assistance. And anticipating some of the needs that we had with traffic control and anything else, and continually I'm getting conversations or communication with them to see what's our next steps, what do you need from us next. And that's a partnership that we really value.
And just to clarify, the situation is now resolved and there's no credibility?
Well, at this point, everyone is safe, and that's what we know. We're thankful that everyone is safe, and reunification processes continue in some respects, but for the most part, everyone has been reunited and safe. So that's what we know now, and beyond that, the investigation will continue to unfold.
Thus far, officers have not found anything that leads them to believe that there might have been an incendiary device in the school?
At this point, we don't know of anything. I do not know of anything that would be that type of device.
We've cleared one school.
Yeah, but Dr. Liggins is actually correct. We have cleared one school to my knowledge. So like I said, this investigation is very new in its process, and so I definitely want to let that play out and make sure that we do everything we can before we jump to that conclusion.
Do you know why those 4 schools were chosen and it wasn't any of the other schools in the FCPS?
No, ma'am, I do not have any reason to know why that, or I don't have any reason to suspect why these 4 were chosen.
And let me ask you again, has there been any evidence found at all?
So we do not personally own these explosive devices dogs. We rely on our community partners for those, and so I have not spoken to any of those agencies specifically about anything like that. I do not know of anything at this point.
And can you describe what the stop tip line is again?
Yes, so we partner with the Kentucky Department of Homeland Security and our partners at the Department of Criminal Justice Training and a lot of other partners around the state to allow for an anonymous tip line, and it is just that. So you can report any type of threat or any type of event that they want to report to school administrators, school police, and school leaders. And it comes in various forms, so there's a lot of redundancy, emails and other forms, so that it's going to be seen and seen quickly.
And what are the plans for school tomorrow?
Well, I will let Dr. Liggins speak to tomorrow's events, so when we get to that. Thank you.
Is there anything that we haven't asked that you think is important for the public to know?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, that we've, one thing that we always try to be in the situation is open and transparent. This is what we know at this point, and we're going to continue to work through the investigation as best we can.
So when you say that only one school's been completely cleared, officers are right now, as we speak, still going through the...
Yeah, we have a number of resources out there, including the explosive canines that are working their way through. We just want to make sure that tomorrow goes as smoothly as possible. If that's and tonight that we can get to a stopping point where we feel like we have done everything we can. And so that takes a little bit of time, and that's fine. That's the time it will take. We'll do whatever's necessary to keep our students, staff, parents, community members safe.
So is it correct that nothing happened, that Rod Station and King Street did not get any threats, so there was no activity at those schools?
I did not receive any information that those 2 schools were mentioned. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And yes, tomorrow we do plan at this point to resume normal activities at school and have a normal school day. That, of course, is pending the outcome of what's currently happening at the 3 remaining campuses. But at this point, we fully anticipate to have school tomorrow. Also, there is a press release that will be given to you, if not already been given to you, following this press conference.
Can you talk about the process to convey information to parents, families? Some parents have complained to us they thought the information was kind of vague, obviously.
Well, we really want to make sure that we communicate with our families as soon as possible. However, we want to make sure we're communicating accurate information. Therefore, we often have to depend on the boots that are on the scene to find out exactly what's going on in order to relay that message to our families. We did send 3 messages to the families of those 4 campuses to let them know what was happening and to provide updates as the situation continued. However, we are always looking to improve our communication and to make sure that our families have as much information as possible to help them not only feel at ease that we are handling these situations appropriately, but also to just let them know as our partners what is happening on the campus where their students are involved.
Were there any subsequent messages after the initial anonymous message?
We've not received, to my knowledge at this point, any subsequent messages.
Could you all clarify what the release process was? Because we were hearing different things from our folks on the ground, from our reporters on the ground, and from parents and students.
Well, each campus has a unique setup, obviously, and so each of them require unique release processes as far as releasing their students. Not one campus necessarily will mirror the other, depending on their actual facility and out their grounds, and so that was really, we depended greatly on our principals in order to make that happen and to make sure that they did it in a fashion that made most sense to what they were actually dealing with in their particular structure.
Do you expect any additional security measures going forward beyond tomorrow as far as?
At this point, we have no reason to believe that that will be necessary. We do have several security methods already in place on a day-to-day basis. As you're aware, we have our own police force that is highly visible at all of our campuses. Our high schools are no different, and so they will continue to be a constant presence, and we look forward to having the actual release of all of the campuses once the canines and other procedures that Chief Schaefer have described actually continues and finalizes. Thank you again for your time.
Can you all be making a statement as details come to fruition, become public in terms of the suspect or whether you began from it or?
We will continue to communicate with our families and our community about this. So absolutely, once we've, if allowed, obviously we have other agencies that are involved that will, anything that we're not allowed to share, we will not, but obviously we will make absolutely sure that we continue to communicate. Also, I would like to just thank our families for their patience and understanding as we went through this process today. I must commend again, our campus leaders and staff, our students, and our police force for working in tangent in order to make absolutely sure that we kept everyone safe and we practiced our protocols as we had done so in drills so many times. And so it was very relieving to know that all of the practice and all of the drills actually paid off and that we did it in a very smooth manner and got our students out in time.
So just to clarify, I'm sorry, there was nobody was injured, there was no device that has been located at this time that you all know of?
At this point, there's no students have been injured as a result of this incident, students or staff, and there has been no device found at this very moment. Thank you again.